The world is filled with secrets and mysteries, some of which will never be uncovered. Imagine spending weeks mourning and shedding tears over someone who isn't actually dead. This might just be the case for many. September 13th, 1996, and August 16th, 1997 marked the days where the world lost two celebrities, Tupac Shakur and Elvis Presley. But did they really even die? Even after their deaths were announced, there have been various sightings of both. Evidence suggests that the public may not have been told the truth. Media sources should not always be trusted, as the truth can easily be twisted if the truth is dangerous.
The king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, is deemed one of the most significant cultural icons of the 20th century. It is imperative to consider the events that took place in Elvis's life and the traits that made him who he was to form an opinion on the conspiracy about his death. Characteristics of his life give insight on whether he would have been one to fake his death as a means of escaping from the public.
Born on January 8, 1935 in Mississippi, Elvis grew up in a poor family as an only child. He moved from Tupelo, Mississippi to Memphis, Tennessee in search of a job. After graduating from high school, he began focusing on music and started his musical career. Elvis got married to Priscilla Bewley and had a daughter named Lisa Marie. Their marriage fell apart and the two got a divorce in 1973. This obstacle played a crucial role in the life of Elvis as it perpetuated his struggles with an addiction to prescription drugs. On August 17, 1977, at age 42, he was suspected of dying of heart failure due to a prescription drug. His girlfriend found him unresponsive on the bathroom floor before he was scheduled to fly out for another tour in Memphis. Doctors were unable to revive him, and he was pronounced dead at 3:30.
However, there are missing pieces to the story. The website conspiracies.net is one of the sources that provides evidence that supports the fact that Elvis did not die when it said he did. According to the site, the cause of death was reported to be the result of a heart attack, but was since changed to that of an accidental drug overdose. His autopsy report has yet to be released to the public. The truth lies in the autopsy report. In addition, when Elvis was brought to the hospital in August in 1977, a nurse looked at him and said, "That's not Elvis Presley." The nurse allegedly received a warning from the government not to say anything to reveal the cover-up. The story about his death simply does not add up. During the funeral for Elvis, more suspicious activity took place. It appeared as though wax was melting out of his coffin. A wax dummy could have been placed in his coffin to fool the attendees into thinking he was actually dead and in the coffin.
Elvis has been spotted after 1977. How can someone be declared as dead, but then seen again alive? There are practically only three explanations for this. Elvis is truly alive, or people have not been telling the truth about the sightings, or people claim they saw him when really it was just another person that looked like him, like an honest mistake. There have been sightings of him at grocery stores, 7-Elevens, shopping malls, and fast food chains such as the Burger King in Michigan. The most fascinating sighting of Elvis took place the day after his sudden death in the Memphis International Airport, where a man by the name of John Burroughs purchased a one-way ticket to Buenos Aires, Argentina. The name John Burroughs was allegedly the alias Elvis would use when he would book hotels and communicate with the FBI. In addition, witnesses claimed he looked and sounded just like Elvis himself.
Elvis also reported that he was feeling very lonely and depressed, which could be a potential reason for wanting to fake his death as a means of escaping. Elvis claimed, there has to be a purpose. There's got to be a reason. Why was I chosen to be Elvis Presley? I swear to God, no one knows how lonely I get and how empty I really feel." He also wrote a note that was addressed to his road manager, Joe Esposito, in which he wrote, "I'm sick and tired of my life, and I need a long rest." Logically, it all makes sense. Elvis could have faked his death so that people would not go looking for him and he could revert to his old lifestyle before fame.
There is always the possibility that people lied about the sightings and the potential evidence. Die-hard fans may have had a hard time coping with loss and may have fabricated information as a result of being in denial. On the other hand, there is the possibility that the public was lied to by news outlets in order to protect Elvis.
Elvis Presley was not the only celebrity seen to have faked his death. Tupac Shakur, considered to be one of the greatest rappers of all time, was born on June 16, 1971 in East Harlem, New York. He moved to California where he rose to fame in the music industry, releasing 11 platinum albums over the span of his lifetime. At the same time, he was caught up in the middle of the East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry. On September 7, 1996, Tupac attended a Mike Tyson-Bruce Seldon fight alongside Suge Knight in the big city of Las Vegas. Tupac's life was cut short when a white Cadillac drove by them, firing 14 times, 4 of which hit Tupac. He died a week later on September 13, 1996, due to gunshot wounds. His murder was never solved.
Although, there are many pieces of the assassination that just don't add up. First of all, the night of the shooting was not the first time Tupac was shot. Back in 1994, Tupac was robbed and shot multiple times. After surviving that, he always wore a bulletproof vest wherever he went. So why didn't he wear one the night of the fight? In addition, even though Tupac and Knight were shot at 14 times, Knight, a fairly large target who happened to be right next to Tupac, was not hit once. But there were no witnesses of the assassination or sightings of the white Cadillac, which is quite illogical considering the fact that the shooting took place in one of the busiest cities in the world, hours after a major fight took place.
Furthermore, before his death, Tupac began referring to himself as Machiavelli, a direct allusion to the 15th century Italian writer Niccolò Machiavelli, who suggested the only way to defeat one's enemies was to fake your own death. Could it be possible that Tupac faked his own death to escape his enemies? To prove this, Tupac has been spotted after his death on multiple occasions. One of the sightings took place at the Occupy Wall Street stand in 2011, where Tupac was spotted in a crowd of people. Others claim he's hiding in Cuba with his aunt.
Another detail that adds to the unsolved mystery of Tupac's death is the disappearance of the man who cremated him. After Tupac's death, Suge Knight paid someone to cremate him, even though Knight never saw the body after Tupac died. The man who cremated Tupac retired immediately after and was never seen again. In an interview, Knight claimed that Tupac had mentioned faking his death on a trip to Maui. Knight's son also publicly mentioned that Tupac is still alive.
Based on these points, it is evident that the deaths of Elvis Presley and Tupac Shakur may not be just what is shown throughout the media. The missing pieces to their deaths lead us to believe that the two celebrities could still be alive and living life in secret. The truth isn't always what it seems.